drilled to the ground, or the turf in this case at Fawcett Stadium, and another loss of a couple of yards, so it'll be 3rd and 13.
It really looks like, Joe, this half that Delphus is coming out and giving him some different looks. They've shot the defensive end hard right at him, and what's causing him, they're running a read option to either keep it or to give it, and it's happening so fast he's not able to react to it.
And that's Rocky Klaus again.
And he's a great athlete.
Bowker, the quarterback. Snyder behind him. Clark in motion. Fake to Clark. Bowker rolls, throws, intercepted on the near sideline, and headed for a quick 6 is Josh Will.
He stepped out of bounds. They're going to have to bring it back, but another interception by Josh Will. He came into the football game with 7 interceptions. That is number 8 for the All-Ohio player, Josh Will.
Ball spotted up at the 23-yard line. First down and 10 yards to go for Delphus St. John.
There's a good indication why Fisher Catholic, I guess, again, it's probably something they don't work on as much in practice as that throwing game, but there's really no timing on their cuts and throws, and he overthrown a nice play by Delphus's defense.
Setbacks are Martz and Schulte driving ahead. The 10, the 5, touchdown.
That's their vintage off-tackle toss right there, Joe. They just pitch it and let him cut. They kick out with the fullback, lead up their guard and quarterback. 23-yard scoring drive on one play.
19-8, Delphus St. John has the lead with 10:25 to play of the third quarter. And coming on to kick is Charlie Webb.
That's not what Fisher Catholic wanted here at the beginning of the second half. They went and did some changes and things of that nature, hoping to come down, and everything kind of went complete opposite.
Look at Josh Will jumping up and down as he heads off after his interception. We should also say that there was an outstanding block in there, in case you didn't see it, by number 70, Keith Godey, who, as Chad Schulte often does, guys, he gets behind those lead blockers, gets the hand right in the back of the blocker and just follows him through, and give that credit to number 70, Keith Godey. Scoring drive, it took just one play, 23 yards, 23-yard touchdown run by Chad Schulte, took just 10 seconds, and now the Jays are on top of the Lone Zone scoreboard, 20-8 as our scoring drive brought to you by Kraus Lumber Do-It Center in Lima.
Well, gentlemen, when this game is over and we look back, that could be the thing that turned the whole thing around.
Well, and Fisher Catholic's got to get something going, Howard, because look at their last possessions. A punt, they had a touchdown, then a punt, and then the half came to an end, and you saw what just happened before this one here. So now Fisher Catholic going to try to get untracked.
Not only that, they can't wait long. The thing about an option football team, and that they spend a lot of time with it, is it's not a great come-from-behind offense. They're not the ones that's going to throw it down the field. So they need to get some scoring and get it quickly here in the third quarter.
Charlie Webb was now drilled 73 out of 75 extra points this year. On the kickoff, gets good foot into the ball, back to the end zone, and
it's a touchback. The ball carried his momentum into the end zone. In high school sports, you cannot take the kick out of the end zone.
Learn something new every day.
So
Thank you, Howard.
It's going to be spotted on the 20.
And we should mention, too, those numbers Joe talking about, we did not update from the last playoff game. So Charlie's doing better even than that. And the national record I was reading before, I think, was something like, what, Howard, 87 for the extra points? 87 points, and he's not far away from that.
That's a lot of touchdowns in one year to give him an opportunity to kick that many.
If he did all that kicking after the touchdowns in the Tiffin Calvert game, he is well along.
And he also a soccer player and had to go through that whole thing that a lot of guys that play soccer and kick for football, that's all he does, obviously. Kicks and kicks and kicks.
But he's a weapon, I'll tell you. That's right away. Delphus, one thing I've noticed so much with them is they get a play field position.
Well, there's the option. The quarterback keeps it, and Bowker is drilled back at the 18-yard line, a loss of 2. And it looks to me, gentlemen, as though Delphos St. John has figured this Fisher offense out completely.
And speaking of that, that was Jeff Fisher who just had that big tackle, and Scott Stiles is getting an up-close and personal shot of what's going on down there at the line of scrimmage.
I'll tell you what, it's a great play by Will, and then I know you give credit to Schulte running the ball hard, but Dave Martz is doing a great job of lead blocking for the running backs. You got to give that kid credit. He's sticking his nose up there, creating the holes. Back to you guys.
Second down and 11. Long pitch to B.J. Clark. He's got Martz back there with him. Martz slows him up, and everybody else jumps on.
Boy, Delphos defense having some fun right now. And this is what it's all about right here. A group playing together, and that's what they are doing.
If this keeps up, the best thing that Fisher can do is keep that clock moving. It's down to 9:18 to play of the third quarter, 20-8 on the Lone Zone scoreboard. The Delphos St. John Blue Jays starting to really develop themselves, both sides of the ball, and dominating the game. Snyder behind quarterback Bowker. Bowker rolls back. Bowker's looking, lofts it downfield. Josh Will knocks it away. Incomplete.
Almost another interception as Vic Whiting pats him on the back as Josh Will gets up. And, a lot of time, Howard, you look at defensive backs, and they don't always get the credit they deserve. And Josh Will, obviously, the coaches from around the state recognize his talent by naming him on that All-Ohio first team.
He has great instincts back there. That ball goes up in the air, and he's breaking on it. And I think he reads his keys. He watches the quarterback's eyes. The quarterback's going to show you where he's going to throw it, and he has great reaction time.
Well, the punt sails up to the 50-yard line, taken by Fisher at a fair catch. It'll be first down and 10 yards to go, and Delphos St. John's will go back on offense in Lancaster Fisher territory at the 47.
Speaking of Josh Will, if you remember last year, Howard, we had a play from that game which they won in the state championship last year where Josh Will came up from his secondary position, hit one of the offensive players, and knocked his helmet off. And we played that one over and over again. He's not only a player who can play good defense back there, but he likes to hit as well.
Setbacks are Martz and Schulte. Here comes Schulte. 40 and ahead to the 35-yard line before wrestled down by Andy Lipp.
Again, it's just their off-tackle toss, and Fisher Catholic is going to be in for a long second half if they don't shut that off-tackle hole and make them go elsewhere, because they'll keep exploiting it, and they'll run it, and they'll just run it out of a different formation.
Well, just shy of the Fisher Catholic 35-yard line. 20-8 on the Lone Zone scoreboard. The Blue Jays have the advantage. They have the ball. We're in the third quarter with 8 minutes and 20 seconds to play. Pitch back to Schulte. Schulte caught from behind this time and wrestled down near the line of scrimmage, and it will be second down and, for all intents and purposes, 10 yards to go.
St. John's trying to win back-to-back Division VI state championships, and as Howard knows, only one other team in Division VI has done that before. St. John's trying to do it like St. Henry has done, and they are well on their way right now.
Schulte comes out of the ball game for a bit of a breather, and that will put Zach Weber into that tailback spot, and he gets the ball.
Watch him go.
35 and knocked down at the 33-yard line.
So I think a little bit different about Zach and Chad Schulte is that Zach not quite as big, Howard. When he gets hit, sometimes he gets hit pretty hard.
Zach just got hit by the junkyard dog. It was Aiello who made the stop.
Yeah, Zach's a lot different runner. He's not, he's not a power runner. But I'll tell you what, you've got to catch him, and he's got some good instincts and cuts.
5'6", 135 pounds for Zach. And he uses all of it.
Shotgun formation. McCormick back. Winds up, lets it go, and it is knocked down, Going up is Jesse Behringer for the Irish, and for the Delphus St. John's Blue Jay, Jace Metzner, incomplete.
That was a big stop, Howard.
I think you can see there that McCormick's arm strength is not where it's been all year. Usually he hits Metzner in stride. You know, he throws it out there and lets him run underneath it. There you can see he had to kind of wait for it.
Fourth down, 8 yards to go. Martz will be back to punt. Doug Martz. That's the ball, and now he gave it a stutter step and then kicks it downfield. It is caught by John Markwood, and Markwood is down in a hurry.
I don't know about that one, Howard. That was pretty dangerous.
I'll tell you what, that was a heck of a catch, but I'm not sure that was the thing that their coach wanted him to do.
Remember, when this one is over, we are going to go down on the field. We have the fifth quarter, as we call it. We're going to have a chance to interview some of the, or hoping at this point, the Delphus St. John Blue Jay football players and coaches as they celebrate another state championship, and they're a quarter and a half away right now.
Barnett out wide to the left, and Dominic Boyden to the right side. Snyder behind Bowker. Clark in motion, and the give is to Snyder, and Snyder stacked up at the 15-yard line, picked up a yard and a half.
Again, I believe Fisher Catholic needs to find a way to throw some maybe three-step drop passes or something to loosen up these defensive backs, because they're just right up on the line of scrimmage with the linebackers.
Second down, 8 yards to go on the Lone Zone scoreboard with 6 minutes and 10 seconds to play of the third quarter. Blue Jays 20, Irish 8. Bowker behind Paul Geigel. And before he can do anything more, he is down. Martz buries him again.
He's having another outstanding football game, Howard, as Doug told us after we chose him last year for player of the game that his dad even said, his dad's Joe Martz said, you know, I think those guys from Fox are going to pick a defensive player tonight for player of the game, and he was exactly right, and he's doing it again this week.
Well, so often it's their defense that picks them up, you know, puts the offense in great scoring position. Sometimes the offense gets a lot of credit, but their defense puts them in great position to put points on the board, and plays like that out of Doug is going to give him great field position again.
And he'll be back next year. It's a junior.
A lot of them back.
There's a pass thrown into no man's land. I guess the closest Irish to it was B.J. Clark, but he had no chance at all. Josh Will comes up hobbling a little bit.
And he's kind of unhappy because he fell down. If Josh wouldn't have fallen down, he probably could have stepped over a couple steps there and picked that pass off.
Fourth down, 10 yards to go. This is the fifth punt of the game for the Irish of Lancaster Fisher Catholic.
St. John's should get great field position again.
And the punt is a sailor that comes to the 43, picked off by Fisher. Manages to stay up, there's a flag down, and he falls forward to the 33-yard line, but the flag is back on the turf at the 44.
Probably a hold or a clip in there against the Jays, and probably move that one back a little bit. The attendance last year at the state championship game in Massillon was 8,012. And Joe, I think you told us this place holds about 23,000.
Right.
So we have not heard the official attendance yet today, but we've got a real nice crowd here.
Yeah, from what I see, I think everybody came over from Delphus except the fire department and the policemen.
I'm sure they're here somewhere. Maybe didn't bring the trucks and cars, but
looks like we had a little clip. Yeah, clipping penalty.
Yeah, that's the reason the ball is now back in Delphus St. John territory at the 41-yard line. Schulte back in the ball game, set back behind Dave Martz. And there is Dave Martz heading for open country all the way to the Fisher 40.
What a
First
weapon.
and 10.
Dave Martz came into the football game with 7 touchdowns and over 650 yards rushing. And he's at, as you know, Howard, every now and then when they keep going at you with Chad Schulte and throw the passes to Metzner, they sneak in Martz in there and they try him on that wraparound draw sometimes, and he just explodes.
He's a true fullback. I mean, he does a real nice job on the kick-out blocks and leading those tailbacks in. But I'll tell you what, when he gets his opportunity to put his hands on it, he makes the best of it.
19-yard pickup, first down. Fake to Martz, quarterback keep. Now the pitch back to Schulte, and he's down the sideline and knocked out of bounds by Demetrius Lloyd at the 7-yard line. Coach, that's just the way they diagram it for practice.
Well, you couldn't have done it any better. The play before, they give it to Martz for a big gain. Now they fake it to him in the line, and they all just jump right to him. And McCormick comes out here and kind of surprised, and he makes a pitch 10 yards downfield off of a defensive corner. And there's nobody left out there for the pitch man.
Chad, one of the 3 Schulte brothers with a lot of yards for St. John's. Todd Schulte and his other brother, Scott Schulte. And Chad's showing you right now why he is number 1 in career rushing for the Jays.
At the 8, they give to Schulte, and he is into the end zone for the touchdown. He took Jesse Behringer with him.
I'll tell you how you can tell that the offensive line is winning the game up there is when you see a trail of white all the way to the end zone laying on the ground. You know, it just looks like a big trail, and that's what's happening right now.
That touchdown comes at the 4:28 mark of the third quarter, and as these guys have pointed out, it's all St. John's right now, 26-8.
And the snap back, and the kick is no good. One of the few times this year that we had to say that after a PAT attempt by Charlie Webb.
And let's see what Scott Stiles is doing down there on the sideline. Scotty!
Carl, fellas, it's quite evident. Strength and speed kills. And right now, Delphus is wearing down Lancaster. There's no doubt about it. And the quarterback for Lancaster, you can see he's taking his toll on running the option. Every series, he gets up slower and slower. The last time he walked, took his helmet off, sat down on the bench, and tossed his helmet aside. Frustration starting to set in. You're starting to see why they're the state champions, and they're going on their way to winning another one right now.
Yeah, and Scott has not made that official prediction yet, as he usually does, somewhere in the fourth quarter. But we'll see what Scott thinks when we get there. And also, you'll probably hear his famous zing sometime in the fourth quarter as well. Right, Scott?
Zach Zener-Weber will score again before this game's over with.
There's one of our predictions. Scoring drive brought to you by Krause Lumber Do-It Center in Lima. Again, Chad Schulte, an 8-yard touchdown run. 3 plays, 59 yards, took only 23 seconds. And again, the second touchdown in a row by Chad. And it's now 26-8 Jays.
3 possessions for Delphus St. John in the second half. 2 of them have resulted in touchdowns.
It's called adjustments at the half, huh, Howard?
Well, I don't know how much adjustments they've made. I think they're doing what they've done best all year. And I'll tell you what's even more amazing is Chad Schulte, all the things that he's overcome and being able to play the way he is today.
Ball bouncing back down at the 5-yard line, and B.J. Clark has an opening on the far side, and Josh Will finally threw him out of bounds at the Delphus St. John 47-yard line. So first down, 10 yards to go for the Irish. Fisher Catholic of Lancaster trailing in this game 26-8 on the Lone Zone scoreboard with 4:20 to play in the third quarter. Ben Catalonia is out very wide to the left. The quarterback with Clark in motion. The give is to Snyder, and he pounds his way forward to the 41-yard line. In fact, beyond that to the 39, where they finally drag him down.
And again, these Irish fans still on their feet. They've seen their team come back many a time this year, although they've beat up on a lot of their opponents. But they are still in this football game, although they trail 26-8.
that's one of the most positive thing they've had happen here the second half on first down play, gaining almost 8 yards, and they need to continue doing so.
2nd and 3. And boom, I want to tell you, there was a big-time tackle by number 78, Josh Ricker, 6'2", 240, a senior, and he got to the ball just at the same moment the quarterback got to the ball.
I was telling Howard before the football game, there's a couple of guys on this team who are really pumped about playing in the state championship game, and one of them, the right guard, Eric Morris, who was in a wheelchair this time last year, and also Josh Ricker, who was injured.
So it's 3rd down and 6 yards to go. Down to 3 minutes to play in the 3rd period. And they give, fumbled, and the ball was picked up by Delphos St. John. The recovery made by Jeff Fisher, and it will be 1st and 10 for the Blue Jays at the 40-yard line.
Well, we talked about what Fisher Catholic has done in their last possessions. This half, an interception, 2 punts, and now a fumble, and things not looking too good right now, Howard, for the Irish.
You know, we stress a lot of time as coaches that this game is played with emotion, and it's very evident right now that Delphos is playing with a lot of emotion, and it's going to be tough for Fisher Catholic to overcome this.
Clock moves within the 3-minute mark of the 3rd quarter as McCormick gives you shoulder. He fumbles the ball, and it looks like Fisher Catholic may have recovered. They have.
There was a big-time hit in there somewhere by one of those Irish players. You don't see the Jays cough up the football too much, especially when they get hit. A lot of tough players in that backfield, but again, they exchange turnovers now, and the Irish will have another shot at it.
I don't think it was so much the hit as it was just the exchange from the quarterback to the running back. I don't think Chad Schulte ever had the ball, so I'm not sure whose fault it is, but you know, those things, I guess it just proves that Delphos is yet human, and they do make mistakes also.
1st and 10 at the Delphos St. John 38-yard line. Pauker in the backfield gives to B.J. Clark, who looks for running room and doesn't find much, maybe a yard.
You know, Fisher Catholic right now, their coach is over there, and I know how it felt is, you know, what are we going to try next? You know, their defense, again, Delphos runs so well. It looks like on that counter it was there, and all of a sudden it was closed off very quickly.
Well, 2 losses this year for the Irish. Only 2 teams to beat them was Columbus Bishop Hartley 27-7, and also they lost big to Granville 42-9 regular season.
2nd down, a long 9 for the Irish. The backfield, the give to Charlie Webb. I'm reading the wrong roster here.
I don't have a 10 on my roster.
I don't either.
Let's check the other official roster. We have 9 rosters over here, so we'll look at another one here.
Turnovers, by the way, each team with an interception, each team with a fumble.
Nope, not on the official roster.
The official. Somebody had to do some jersey changing here. They're trying to throw a wrench in us into the things here.
Well, the mystery man is still a lone setback behind Brett Bowker, the quarterback. And he gets the ball again and is dropped at the 28-yard line.
And obviously 4-down territory, trailing 26-8. We should mention, too, you know, they got the turf out here. This also, since this is the Hall of Fame right here, Howard, they play the big Hall of Fame game here. That's coming up, what, August?
Yeah, the Browns. The Browns will be back. And this is a beautiful facility. I think this is the 2nd year with turf, and it's just a great place. You know, up here in this press box, a beautiful view for a football game.
Big 4th down, guys.
4th down and a yard to go. Bowker sends Clark in motion, and the give is to number 10, and he is
I'll tell you what,
close.
it's going to go by the spot here, Joe. I don't know.
You're absolutely right. Spot.
You want to call this one, or?
Well, Vic Whiting is calling in. He's saying Vic's right. They didn't get it. And that defense comes through one more time for Lancaster Fisher Catholic. And again, Scott Stiles down there on the sideline as we're approaching the the end of the third quarter, but Scott, another defensive stand by the Jays.
Not giving any momentum back to Lancaster, Carl. That's the name of the game. This deep into the game, Delphus wants to keep control of the game, run the clock down, and gain their second straight championship. I'll tell you what, I'm standing down here in the end of the end zone. This is a beautiful night for football, a beautiful place. The only thing ugly is up there in the press box, you. That's you, Carl. Back to you guys.
I was thinking you're down there with all your friends, Scott.
You know, there used to be an old guy catch extra points for the Browns down in the old stadium. And he looks like he might be a candidate for that job with the new Browns.
Well,
There's a flag on the
he better be careful.
Flag.
He's walking to the other side, too.
Scott, he came from the old dog pound, and that's why, that's why he's standing down there. He thinks that's the dog pound.
Motion penalty puts the ball back at the 24-yard line.
Yeah.
And it will be first down and 15 yards to go with less than a minute to play in the third quarter. On the Lone Zone scoreboard, Blue Jays 26, the Irish of Fisher Catholic 8. At one point of this game, it was 8-7. Pitch back to Schulte. He looked for the open door, and he found it, and it's a foot race now. Schulte trying to cut back, and he did a beautiful job of leaving Ben Forker, and finally brought down all the way to the Fisher Catholic 30-yard line.
And Joe, if you notice what they've been doing, they've been running that off-tackle toss to the strong side, and now they got Fisher Catholic really shifting their defense over, and they come back to the weak side, and basically it's one-on-one blocking, and now you send your guard and your fullback, and Delphus had them outnumbered at the point of attack.
And one thing Chad wasn't doing, he wasn't able to change directions a lot, and look there, Coach, that he was able to do that easily.
Well, the other thing was just to shift it in another gear. He's years past, last year he'd have scored because of his speed, but right now he's hindered just a little bit. But again, he can play for me.
From the 32, a handoff that takes the ball down to the 27-yard line. Ball carried by Zach Weber. Oh, Nick Snyder changed his jersey.
Well, the four fingers are going up, guys, and you know what that means. The end of the quarter, the St. John Blue Jays put the four fingers up, which means the fourth quarter belongs to them, and they are just 1 quarter away from their second straight Division VI championship, as the fans in the stands certainly can smell it right now. 26-8 after 3 quarters. We'll have fourth quarter action for you coming up next on Fox.
When we built our house, we found a lot that was just perfect.
Yeah, well, it was the worst sight I'd ever seen.
It had everything.
Earthquakes, tidal waves, horizontal rays.
We wanted lots of windows.
I insisted on Anderson windows.
At Anderson, we appreciate the builders who time after time make it look easy.
We're still in love with this house.
And I'm still recovering.
Worry-proof, time-proof. Anderson Windows.
Your Anderson window dealer is Vetter Lumber in Bluffton and Fort Jennings.
We're still pushing, pulling, and towing here at La Rich. If you can get your old car in here, we'll guarantee you $1,000 towards the purchase of any used car on the pavement. And at La Rich, we've got hundreds of quality cars, trucks, and vans. And with on-the-spot financing, we'll get you in the car you want today. So come on, push, pull, or tow in your old car and get $1,000 towards your trade. Guaranteed.
La Rich Chevrolet and Cadillac in the heart of downtown Findlay. La Rich.
There's always something cooking at the Carriage Inn in Delphus. Whether it's soups, salads, sandwiches, lunch, or dinner, the Carriage Inn in Delphus has home-cooked recipes for all ages. Lots to choose from on the sandwich board. There's a different kind of soup in the kettle every day, and the dinner entrees are magnifique. A Friday night tradition in Delphus is Carriage Inn fish, all you care to eat, and plenty of sides to go with it. If you can find room, sample a piece of homemade pie, baked daily, at the Carriage Inn, 1201 East 5th Street in Delphus.
One day, your father will talk about his walk to school. You'll recall today, mist like yesterday's rain and an envelope filled with inevitable truth. Then you'll know your education was more than a rite of passage. It was an opportunity, thanks among others to real community banks that invested in your hometown. So that one day, you can tell your grandchildren about how at least once, your walk to school was uphill both ways, just like your dad.
What's for dinner? You're not falling back on fast food again, are you? Quit feeling guilty about not having a home-cooked family meal, because we have the greatest idea for you. Yoder's Home-Style Family of Foods. Yoder's mashed potatoes, gravy, stuffing, and cranberry relish go great with any entree. You can reheat them in the oven or microwave and serve in 5 minutes. No peeling, no cleaning, and no fuss. Yoder's home-style family of foods. You can find them in the meat, deli, or dairy department at your local grocery.
Welcome back to Fawcett Stadium. We are in Canton. Carl Metzger, Howard Overman, Joe Tate, and Scott Stiles bringing you this Division VI state championship game. The Jays, guys, just 12 minutes away from another championship.
Second down, 5 yards to go. Ball in Fisher territory at the 28. And that time, McCormick ended up going the wrong way. Big time, wrestled down across the 35. His knee touchdown, they said, at the 33. So it will be third down and about 11. Short 11, long 10.
That was Nick Frazier with that tackle.
Joe, looked like Delphus came back with that option. He had success before, but their defensive line got up the field and McCormick wasn't able to ride it out and run it.
Ryan Morris wide to the right, Jace Metzner wide to the left. Brad Klaus in the slot, and McCormick lobs one, dropped by Doug Martz. They said people running all over the field, then set up the screen for Martz. He couldn't get the handle on it. It will be fourth down, and for all intents and purposes, 10 yards to go.
You know, I think even if he would have completed that, I don't believe he would have been able to get enough for the first down. I think Fisher Catholic did a nice job playing that screen pass.
So the ball is the 33. Fourth down, 10.5 yards to go. And back to punt the football is Doug Martz. He will obviously attempt to put it somewhere near those orange markers at the front of the end zone. Oh, it's a fake. Give to Schulte. Schulte, 30. Schulte, 25, but short of the first down yardage. Tripped up on the far side by Ed Kinzel.
That doesn't hurt a lot because they're still going to have the ball deep in their own territory. As we throw up for you the final AP standings and how things ended up in Division VI this year. You see the St. John Blue Jays again winning the #1 position, and of the other team that has left, it was Fisher Catholic finishing up number 11. But again, they knocked off both Toronto and Newark Catholic. They were both top 10 teams, Toronto 2 and Newark Catholic 3, to advance to the state championship game.
Keep in mind now, number 10 in the Fisher backfield is Nick Snyder. He changed jerseys. He had been wearing number 22. And getting the ball was B.J. Clark as he came around the right end of the line, but found little yardage available to him. They'll put it down at the 22, and that should be good for no gain. Second down, 10 yards to go.
That's going to not help out too much, Howard. They're going to try to run the football against the Jays right now, down 26-8. You know, they did lead after one quarter, 8-7. Again, the halftime score was 13-8. The Jays have scored twice since that time. That's where we're at right now, 26-8.
Again, the triple option is not a great catch-up offense.
Brad Bowker in the backfield, hands to B.J. Clark, and Clark fights his way up over the 35 to the 38-yard line, and from here it looks as though he has first down yardage.
That's the first time we've really seen a straight counter play like that, Howard.
Yeah, almost a little bit of signs of a little wing T action. And but I think what they've been doing with that play is they've been running a little bit of counter fake and then rolling out and running their bootleg off of that. But that's the first time I think we've seen it give it to them up the middle, and it's very successful for them.
Clark comes out very wide to the right. Andy Lipp goes way out to the left. Snyder remains the lone setback. Fred Bowker, the quarterback, gives the ball to Snyder, and Snyder pounds his way across the 40 to the 41 or 42-yard line, and he is buried under a sea of blue, and way down there at the bottom of that pileup was Nick Yeager.
I tell you, Howard, on that right side of that Blue Jay defense, it's just a mess for the Irish as they're trying to run the ball on that side. There's always 3 or 4 Jays there, and they're getting nothing on that side.
And I think that's why you're seeing them run some counter. This straight-ahead stuff is just not working. They've got to try to get them over-pursuing one way and catching their defense off guard. But, again, their speed, they're able to overcome that also.
Yeah, timeout, Delphus St. John.
And we will take the timeout at the 9:25 mark of our fourth quarter. Again, Jays on top, 26-8.
Delphus is a great place to live and raise a family. If you're thinking about building a new home in Delphus, consider the benefits of Heritage Meadow off State Route 190. Heritage Meadow has more than 20 lots to choose from. Most are 96 feet by 140 feet. All lots have underground utilities and adhere to certain building codes and restrictions. Heritage Meadow is serviced by the City of Delphus, and all lots are zoned as non-commercial. Lots start at $17,500. Call for a quote today.
Come home to where the action is.
Thinking of building your dream home? Make sure you start with a top quality foundation from Von Sossen Contracting. At Von Sossen Contracting, we cut no corners using state-of-the-art rubber wall waterproofing, alternate sump systems, ample stone fill, and solid steel reinforcement which meet or exceed industry standards. Combine this with over 35 years of experience and expertise, and the results are a foundation that'll last a lifetime. Don't compromise the quality of your dreams. Choose Von Sossen Contracting.
There was a time when your child's savings were invested locally by people you knew and trusted. But today you need to be more careful because while out-of-state banks want you to think their interests are in your community, about as soon as you get your deposit slip, they send that money somewhere else.
Where's my money go, Daddy?
When you see this sign, you know we are investing in your community.
At Mickey D's. 8488.
At Mickey D's, this is the place.
8 for $88. Only McDonald's could serve up a menu this great, this tasty. Snack time or mealtime, day or night. Anytime is a great time for Mickey D's. 8 items for 88 cents each. Can't be beat.
8 for $88 at Mickey D's.
And I like it.
Did somebody say McDonald's? 8 great menu items, just 88 cents each.
Well, we've got 9 minutes and 25 seconds remaining. I'd like to tell you about a couple of things. I'm ready. Not really. High school basketball starts tomorrow. You know, usually, Joe, we get a week off, at least 1 week off, and we got to go straight back into basketball tomorrow night. I'm not whining or anything, but we're going to be at Pandora Gilboa as they take on Alanis. Bob Arnson and I to bring you all the action. Make sure to tune in. Replay time, 11 o'clock.
But you know, Joe, the guys at Wapak tell me he takes off about every day at school anyway, so.
That's funny.
There's the pitch back on the far side goes Brad Barnett, and Brad never did find the corner. Is over there to make sure that he had little, if any, success was Jeff Fisher, and help from Brad Klaus.
I've been nice to you the whole game, Howard. You got to know
and
that.
Rightly so.
Scott Stiles has too. You know, we're going to go down the field when this is over. Make sure to stay tuned for the 5th quarter. We'll talk to the coaches and players from the Jays. That's the 5th quarter following our post-game show on Fox 67, and you will see the Jays hoist that championship trophy.
The give on the counter and driving for next to nothing is Brad Barnett. Picked up a yard, leaving the ball at the 43-yard line, 4th down, and about 7 yards to go.
You want to see something neat, Joe? We're going to throw up on the screen right now a picture of Howard Overman as he's coaching during the New Bremen game. I think it was against St. John's. So you're not going to get to see it right now, but all the fans, take a look at this guy. He's all over the field. That's
pretty calm and collected.
It's our guy up here in the press box with us, Howard Overman.
What are all those beeps? Well, the the punt just got away as it was Brad Klaus attempting to block, and the ball rolling, and it can't roll any further. 1 yard line, first down, 10 yards to go for Delphus St. John at their own 1 yard line.
What are you all upset about, Howard?
Well, I didn't see the clip, but it's very unlike me to be upset for any reason. So I don't know where you might have got that.
Have you seen yourself mellow out? Are most coaches going to become more mellow over the years like you have, Howard?
Yeah, I think I have to.
Either that or suffer a heart attack.
That's right. But it's an intense sport, and you put a lot of time and effort into it, and sometimes I guess the emotions can get the best of you.
You look good though.
Well, thank you.
That was a 60-yard punt, and McCormick out of the end zone unloads and almost caught. What a great effort by Jace Metzner up at the 40-yard line, and it will be second down, 10 yards to go.
Well, they looked to bust this wide open, didn't they? If they hit that, he could go the distance. But, Fisher Catholic, if they can make a good stand here, they're going to get good field position, and you never know what can happen. I mean, we watched the Coldwater game this morning, and we thought they were down and out, and they were able to fight back into it.
Well, last year, Canton McKinley won Division I, Defiance 2, Columbus St. Francis DeSales 3, Germantown Valley View 4, Liberty Center 5, and of course these Jays won in Division 6.
That was only the 7th pass of the game for Delphus St. John. This time a handoff to Schulte, and he is able to pound for a couple of yards out to the 3. Third down and along 7, almost 8.
And Howard, next year this even gets more exciting because we're going to double up on those playoffs. A lot more teams going to be in it.
And again, being a coach, I'm all for that. There's some people not, but I think it's a great opportunity to get more kids involved and to see it. I know some people are concerned playing 15 games instead of 14, but we're the only sport, again, that doesn't get the opportunity to get everybody in.
Schulte fights up over the 10 to the 14-yard line. That's good for a first down and gives the Delphus St. John Blue Jays some breathing room. On the lone zone scoreboard with 7:08 to play, the Blue Jays 26 and Fisher Catholic 8.
Carr, you saw a little bit of Chad of the old there. He made some nice cuts, I'll tell you, right on a dime. And
well, this turf's got to help out too.
Yeah, it can, but also it can hinder a little bit if you've got a bad knee. It doesn't give much.
Pitch back to Schulte, and the big guy rumbles up to the 19-yard line.
And then we've talked before, Howard, too, about injuries, especially on turf like this. A lot of the guys we've talked to in sports medicine say most of the injuries, especially knee injuries, will come from the stopping. When you're trying to make that stop and then make a cut, that's where a lot of the ankle injuries, the knee injuries occur. And like you said before, that can really jar your knee around on surface like this.
And that's why you see so many professional stadiums going back to natural turf because it does have some give to it. Right. Whereas here, it's amazing how tacky it is. And you see people actually stumbling on their own because it has such a good grip.
Counter.
And on the counter play, it was David Martz getting more running room and another first down up to the 29-yard line. And now the Blue Jays of Delphus St. John are starting to put the finishing touches on a back-to-back championship.
Well, Scott, we're getting down to that time. 6:06 remaining. What do you think, bud?
Carl, before the offense went out last time, Vic called the offense all over, and he goes, finish them off right here. He goes, don't give them a chance to get the ball back. Grind it out, run the clock out. And right now, they're following his orders. Back to you guys.
Very wide to the right is Craig Hershey. In the slot is Brad Klaus, and the ball goes to Schulte, the 30 to the 34. He is knocking on the door of 300 yards rushing, I am told.
I'll tell you what, these defensive backs at Fisher Catholic are going to have nightmares tonight. They're going to see Chad Schulte in their dreams.
Well, he also has the single-game rushing record at St. John's. This is kind of an average game for him, Joe. He's had over 400 yards rushing in a game before as well.
Ball just over the 34, and it is second down and 6 yards to go. Clock ticks down to 5:15 before the Blue Jays can start celebrating. Hershey left, Klaus right. Schulte settled down that time at the 35-yard line. Wrestled to the ground at that point by Matt Anderson.
And remember, fans, for Delphos St. John's, or if you even want to join in, they will have a welcome home ceremony for Delphos St. John's on Sunday night. Gets underway at 7 o'clock from Robert Arnzen Gymnasium. They'll be, again, celebrating another St. John Blue Jay championship with only 4:36 remaining in this one.
Schulte comes out of the game, gets a fine round of applause. Zach Weber takes his spot, and he also gets the ball. 35 and 40, 45 and 50, and down the sideline, caught from behind and out of bounds. Ben Forker made the desperation tackle. They'll spot the ball at the Fisher 39-yard line, and with 4:21 to go, the ball will be spotted just inside the 40, and we have an official's timeout.
Well, Scott Stiles almost hit it there, if you remember, Howard. He said that Zach would zing for one more touchdown here in the game. We haven't seen it yet, but he was just one tackler away that time from nailing the big one.
We have a man down for the Irish right in front of the Blue Jays bench.
I don't see a number there, Joe, but, you know, zing is probably a good word to use, because I tell you what, when he comes in there, there's some zing into that offense.
Well, our zinger is down there on the sideline. What's going on, Scott?
Carl Lancaster guys down the field, but check this hat out. Check this out. You've been waiting for this all year. I'm going to make my prediction right now. Delphos will win the football game. Back to you.
Oh, boy, way to go out on a limb there with that hat on. You know, that hat, that kind of fits you well.
Thanks.
In more ways than one.
I tell you what, you got to have a good-sized head for this thing. I tell you what, it'd be around your neck if you wore this thing. Back to you.
He's always been a Dr. Seuss lookalike, right?
Hey, it gives us time to tell you about our big Super Bowl party. Mark your calendar for Sunday, January 24th. Fox is going to throw the biggest NFL Super Bowl party ever. We've had one before. Our guests will include from the Browns, Eddie Johnson, Sam Clancy, Ricky Feature, Cleo Miller, just some of those guys. Bobby Hoeing might be there, Jeff Hardings, William White, Jim Lachey. Again, that's Sunday, January 24th. We will be in Lima, and we'll tell you more about it here. It's going to be at the Lima Holiday Inn. All sorts of neat stuff going on. So make sure to stop off, let's see, 1 to 6 p.m. Won't cost you a dime. And again, that'll help out with the Cleveland Browns kickoff, as they're just a few months away from their joining back into the NFL. Get time, Joe, stop on down.
That player, Carl, is still flat on his back over by the Blue Jays bench, being tended to by both the trainer from, it's the guy who made the tackle, they tell me, Ben Forker. And he has been down there for a long, long time. The game is being delayed at this point. Ball at the 39-yard line.
We're looking here in the record books, Joe. It says that the most yards gained rushing in a championship game is by, if you remember this guy, I'm sure you do, Howard, from St. Henry, Paul Kaiser, 202 yards. And if the case is right for Chad Schulte, he has broken that record for most yards gained in a championship game. Should also tell you, if you remember last year's game, Howard, the game was kind of dominated by one player. Well, I shouldn't say one player, a guy who really stood out. If you remember Greg Grotehouse,
oh yeah,
the big tight end for St. John's, caught some remarkable passes last year from Aaron Elwer, the quarterback. And now Greg, of course, playing some football of his own. Redshirted this year, of course, for the University of Toledo, but he's going to be a force in the next couple of years as well. But that was, again, a great performance by Greg last year.
Well, the damage has been done to Ben Forker, who is a senior and a defensive back. It's his left wrist, and he is being taken back across the field. He is walking under his own power, but he has that left wrist all wrapped up in an air cast, and it would appear that his high school career is over, and it ended on a desperation tackle of Zach Weber to keep the Blue Jays from scoring again. Yeah, unofficially now they tell us Schulte has 280 yards.
Might be kind of easy to find a player of the game for this one, Howard.
Yeah, I was hoping I'd get a chance to pick one again this week.
I think we'll still let you do it.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's Klaus in motion. Pitch back to Schulte, and Schulte knocked down as he got across the 40 to the 39-yard line. A man who has done a nice job defensively today for Fisher Catholic, John Markwood, made the tackle.
You know, I know, Howard, that you guys picked the Jays prior to the season probably to win this thing again, but did you think they were going to be as tough as they were this year?
Tough, yes, but not as dominant. What they did to our league is remarkable, and what they're doing again this year. To win this many football games at any level is a tremendous task.
Schulte pounds his way down to the 37. The clock pounds its way down to 3:38 to play.
And they lose Huntingford on that offensive line, and Godey, and Morris, and Steeman, and Jace Metzner, and Dave Martz. They also lose Chad Schulte. But I tell you, as you look through this lineup, and I'm just talking starters right now, they've got a lot of starters back on the offense and defense, and a very good junior varsity team. And as you go down through the grade levels, a lot of good guys coming back for this Blue Jay team. Sorry to say that, Howard.
Well, that's okay. I mean, again, I think everybody else is working on their team and getting better and getting to their to the Delphus level. And again, it's going to be another great year. Great catch out there by Jace.
Listen to the fans, because they know what Jace has went through the last couple of weeks, because this guy is a competitor. He wanted to be in there at 100% and make his presence known, and they appreciate stuff like that right there.
I have an interesting stat for you. The most yards gained Division VI championship by a team. 295 yards by Norwalk St. Paul against Delphus St. John's last year. So
they scored 28 points. I know the goal of this team right here, St. John's, tonight was to shut out Fisher Catholic, and they almost did that.
Schulte, who's running the ball right now, he forgot to take the ball with him, and it is picked out of the air and run the other way by Andy Lipp, and he is going to go all the way.
Well, you don't see that happen too much. And now we got a flag. I think it was an unsportsmanlike against Jace Metzner at around the 37-yard line. I think he might have said something, and the official was right there, as that was a 75-yard touchdown for Fisher Catholic to make it 26-14.
I think what happened there is after play, Jace got blocked back on, and he didn't care for that, and went and retaliated and let him know that he wasn't real happy with that. But that's kind of uncharacteristic of Jace to lose his composure like that.
Well, Andy Lipp picks the fumble out of the air when it got away from Chad Schulte, and he took it the distance to make it 26-14 with 2:45 to play.
And again, we're just a couple of minutes away from going down on the field. You will see one heck of a celebration here at Canton's Fawcett Stadium. It's going to get even better when they return back to Delphus, Joe. You're going to see that place all lit up. Last year, they brought the buses back, toilet paper everywhere, and the fans celebrated. Then the Jays will return to Robert A. Arnzen Gymnasium on Sunday to officially welcome their team home for that nice ceremony they'll have. Heading to Delphus tonight, be a nice place for you, Howard.
Well, I would, but I'm gonna stay here and watch the rest of them. We've had two real good football games so far, and I believe there's going to be 4 more yet. So I'm going to stick around here.
I'll save you a pop.
Well, thank you very much.
For the 2 points, complete, and the pass ends up at the grasp of Dominic Boyden in the end zone, and it is now 26-16.
10-point game, 2:45. You think they're going to onside here, Joe? You've seen some football games in your day. Or is it too early to do that?
Hey, send it down to Scotty.
Send it down to Scotty. He has all the answers.
He's got the stupid hat and all the predictions.
That's right.
Scott, Joe says send it down to the guy in the stupid hat to see if there's any predictions coming up here.
Yeah, predict an onside kick. How's that?
That's what we were just talking about. We were asking Joe, and he said send it down to you. So you're going out on a limb again, Scott.
Well, Big Joe's a smart guy. You can't take anything away from him. He's not too smart because he's sitting next to you, though. But I tell you what, Joe, you're right. Expect an onside kick. And the way they line up, it's going to be a heck of an effort for Delphus trying to cover that fumble up or cover that kick up. Back to you guys.
Okay, and the scoring drive, 75 yards, 1 play on that return. Took just 10 seconds. 2-point conversion was good. And again, that's where we stand right now with our Krause Lumber Do-It Center scoring drive recap, 26-16.
You know, in a game of football, that ball goes in some weird bounces, you know. Here, Delphus making some nice chunks of yardage, and all of a sudden it ripped out, and it bounces right into a guy's hand in full stride, and he takes it the distance.
Yeah, we're looking at those records again. The most yards gained rushing overall any game, state championships, only 287 yards. So Chad's going to set a record
individual?
There. Yep.
And I don't know what you mean by only 287.
Only with Chad having over 200 himself. I mean, he's got...
I think that's a great feat. There's a lot of running backs in high school football like to have 287
total.
There's the onside kick, and Josh Will grabs it. He's buried, but he hangs on, and Delphus St. John has the ball at their own 48-yard line with 2:45 to play.
Well, I'd say with the first down here, how many timeouts? I don't think Dave Mesker has the official ones. 2 timeouts remaining for St. John's, and Lancaster guy still has all 3 of theirs left.
They're going to have to burn them. Again, I think what they're going to be doing is what they did on the last series is stripping the football, and you're going to see the Delphus St. John's running backs covering it up with both hands and securing it.
Coming out wide to the right is Jay Methner. Klaus in the slot. Schulte is grabbed around the ankles by Joe Aiello and brought down shy of the 50-yard line.
Not using timeouts right now, Howard. Does that surprise you at all?
Oh, I think they can get by with maybe one here. They're going to try to save them here for at least the offense, but probably after this play you'll see a timeout called. You know, they want to keep it for the 4th down so they just don't run the clock out, you know, and take a 5-yard penalty. So they're going to probably burn one the next 3 downs.
2nd and 9. Doug Martz, Chad Schulte of the setbacks. That's Schulte crashing off right tackle and down to the Fisher 43.
See that hole that time. You see Phil Gunder down on the ground right now after the nice block that he made. Also getting up the number 62, Eric Morris. And again, what a story for Eric coming back after last year at this time, being in a wheelchair with his injury and using their whole bodies with Tony Steeman, 77 in there. And they've been doing this all season long and looking good there on another nice set of blocks on that offensive line.
3rd and 2. Clock ticking merrily along. Give to Schulte. He'll try the left side, and he's got the open door at the 30 and runs over Dominic Boyden and has first down yardage at the Fisher 22-yard line.
You know, as we're getting ready to wrap things up, I'd like to thank all the guys from Fox 67 making this football season possible. Sometimes we do it, sometimes we don't. Scott Brinkman, Josh Mann, James McFarland, Charles Smith, Ray Tanner, Ronnie Coons, Dave Mesker, Bob Askins, Keith Horner, Scott Stiles, good old Howie to my right here, Howard Overman, and Joe Tate joining us for this championship game. Great season.
In the backfield, Schulte pounds off right guard and is dropped at the 16-yard line.
Well, guys, 58 seconds away from a state championship for St. John's.
26-16 on the load zone scoreboard in favor of the Delphus St. John Blue Jays. And we've got a penalty. And a bit of a hike coming up here. Takes it back to the 23 and then walks off 5 to the 28. Be 1st and 15.
Great job by Peanut Recker and his defense tonight, holding a very good Fisher Catholic team to just 8 points. Although they have 16 up on the board, that came after a fumble recovery. Nice job by the defense.
But you know, also the defense, it was after a turnover that Fisher Catholic scored the first time.
Right. After the interception.
Schulte drives down to the 25. Clock at 42 seconds and counting.
And you saw the sign earlier, Howard. Jack Bertling and some of his friends up in the front row had a sign that said something about Carl and Tony and the gang, and the last word was forget about it. And right now you can say to Lancaster Fisher Catholic, even though they had a great football game here today, it's time to forget about it because the Adelphia St. John Blue Jays are going to win a state championship.
Second down, 3 yards to go. Take that back. Second down, 12 yards to go. Schulte, or no, this is Zach Weber scampering to the outside, and that should do it to it. So it's 26-16. Adelphia St. John Blue Jays repeat as the Division 6 state champions. Carl?
That means we're going to go down the field as you see the Blue Jays start to get together. They're going to be shaking hands with Fisher Catholic, and pretty soon those hands are going to be clutching a championship trophy. We will take time out, and we'll have our 5th quarter post-game show coming up next here on Fox 67.
Fox 67 is proud to bring you tonight's high school football playoff game. A promotional fee has been paid to the Ohio High School Athletic Association for the broadcast rights of this game. If it wasn't for the support of the following businesses, this broadcast would not have been made possible. United Equity Incorporated in Delphus, Spencerville, and Kossuth, your locally owned farmers cooperative. Harder & Son Memorial Chapel at 209 West 3rd Street in Delphus. Harder & Sons wishes good luck to their favorite coworker, number 77, Tony Steeman. Reliable Plumbing and Heating. Call Reliable at 695-2921 for all your plumbing, heating, and air conditioning needs. Reliable has 24-hour emergency service. Lat Landscaping, where no job is too big or too small. Everyone at Lat Landscaping would like to say good luck, Jays, and great job, Blue Jays marching band. Fox 67 would like to wish the best of luck to all of the area teams during this year's football playoffs.
The action is.
What's for dinner? You're not falling back on fast food again, are you? Quit feeling guilty about not having a home-cooked family meal because we have the greatest idea for you. Yoder's Home-Style Family of Foods. Yoder's mashed potatoes, gravy, stuffing, and cranberry relish go great with any entree. You can reheat them in the oven or microwave and serve in 5 minutes. No peeling, no cleaning, and no fuss. Yoder's Home-Style Family of Foods. You can find them in the meat, deli, or dairy department at your local grocer.
Intercom Information Systems, placing the world at the fingertips of those who will be leading us in the future.
When is an oil change more than just an oil change? When you go to Quick Change Oil and Lube, featuring top quality Valvoline lubricants. We also clean your windshield, vacuum your floors, check all your fluid levels, and check your tire pressure. Best of all, no appointments are necessary. Come to Quick Change Oil and Lube today on Westwood Drive in Van Wert. And now try our new location on North Perry Street in Ottawa, as well as Van Wert. Same great prices, same great service. People who know use Valvoline.
Intermediate 3 is the link to your success. When it comes to the internet, nobody serves you better than Intermediate 3. Whether you're a business looking to grow or just looking for local access to the internet, Intermediate 3 has the right answers. Our associates offer a wide array of computer and internet experience. Intermediate 3, now with local access, designed to provide local computer technology to the community with affordable pricing. For more information on local access, call 692-8211. Intermediate 3, your complete source for all your internet needs.
Welcome back to Canton's Fawcett Stadium. We are getting ready for the presentation of the
championship trophy to the Delphos St. John Blue Jays. They have won back-to-back state championships in Division VI football.
It's a great feeling, privilege to present to the Delphos St. John's Blue Jays their second straight state championship Division VI trophy. Congratulations.
And again, the Blue Jays hoisting their trophy high in the air as they win for the second straight year the Division VI championship crown.
One day, your father will talk about his walk to school. You'll recall today, mist like yesterday's rain and an envelope filled with inevitable truth. Then you'll know your education was more than a rite of passage. It was an opportunity, thanks among others to real community benefits.